And we're in the Ramble.
All right.
You don't seem so excited about Backstreet Girls.
I don't know how to feel about that, but I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh man, you know what, dude? I've been hankering for the day that we find something that neither one of us likes.
Is this gonna be the one?
It could be the one, dude.
Oh no.
And I'm hoping that it doesn't become better to me, because I'm like, we're gonna hate this. This is gonna be great.
Oh God.
I'm pretty sure I'll get some laughs out of it.
Do you have anything else?
It definitely looks like a little raunchy.
It seems like not my cup of tea. But what do you have anything else you want to say about Blooming to You, bud?
Yeah. So the thing that I was talking about with the ending or whatever, it's so...
It's kind of got the Wodecoy problem, where it just kind of walks away from the story.
Yeah. And I mean, like, this is a very heavy story that we're going, and I don't think that I would have done anything if they would have ended it even just a little sooner.
Yeah, I told you earlier, I think they could have cut it at episode 12, and that would have been fine.
Yeah, but they did that extra episode, and I cared more about it being an aquarium than I did about the episode, and then boom, it was done.
It was a very cool aquarium.
And boom, we're switching trains. Like, and this damn anime, this son of a bitch an anime.
Okay.
It spent at least 7 episodes building up this play. Yeah,
and you don't get the play.
And we don't get the play.
No, you don't. You'll get it when they finish it in fucking 2020.
Yeah.
We've already said, like I was telling you earlier, man, from what I've been hearing, it's getting replays on TV, which is a good sign for anything. We know that the novel series and everything is apparently planning to be finished by the end of this year, which means most likely, if it happens, we'll be getting the second season and the finale in 2020, which I'm totally cool to wait for. This one really hit me in such a way that I'm just into it.
It's just that
now it is gonna have that Game of Thrones problem where 2020 rolls around. They're like, it's coming, and I'm like,
or they haven't said anything about it at all. Like, that's a real possibility. That's what I feel like with this show.
It could also drop.
I have this feeling that there's a real possibility that it is what it is.
And if they pull a fruits basket and we come back to it 12 years from now, I'll be fine to watch it then.
And that'll be cool. And at that point, you can add another point to my score.
You're a monster. Is there anything else you want to say about it? Or?
I did say in the review a lot that there was a character that I didn't like, and it was freaking Toko, man.
Yeah.
She makes it really hard, dude.
I wouldn't call her unlikable. I would say that she's certainly...
the most fakest character ever written.
I wouldn't even say fake, because that's the thing, is like she's so... it's like the whole thing is like with her sister and her wanting to be like her sister, and then finding out that her sister wasn't like that eventually, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, and that was such a good moment.
That was really, that was hardcore. But like, I never saw her as being fake, only that if she's fake to anyone, it's to herself. She can't be honest with herself about anything, and as such, she ends up portraying this, lie to everyone around her. Now that is maybe me justifying her shitty behavior, but I mean, that's the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
only because they wrote it that way.
Well, that's how they wrote it. Yeah. And
anyway,
it's just, I don't know. I found it so hard at points. Some of the shit that she did, like,
give me a specific.
Like the whole, like, hey, I'm gonna dangle you here, and I'm gonna love you. And I know you're looking to love someone, but don't you dare love me.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
It is pretty it's pretty bad.
And there are points where she just outright drops a kiss on her.
Yeah.
I
told you, man, that was what
Randy kisses her out of nowhere.
Just out of nowhere. That's what I said last week, man. Their relationship is at times confusing, at times awkward, at times very unfair.
Yeah.
And like like I said last week, man, that's not necessarily a good thing. It is unhealthy, but holy shit, does it make for a show?
Can I let me ask you a question, dude?
What's that?
How did you feel about making out with tongues translating the anime?
That one felt weird.
It was like, dude, they were like lizard tongues. It was very stiff.
It felt pretty weird. It felt weird. That scene felt weird. That was definitely the hottest that show got, and it felt weird.
Yeah. Just the way, like, I don't know if maybe it could have just been drawn better.
I don't
know, but you just see her tongue. It's just like poke in. It's very quick too. It's like and it's drawn like a bird beak.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's maybe not the best example of like a full on tongue kiss I've seen ever.
Yeah, get some slobber in it, all right?
Jesus Christ, Roger, too much.
I want to see the little string of fluid.
Gross, you're gross, you're gross. Jesus Christ. Let's not talk about that anymore. I do.
What, you want to hear about the fluids?
Me and you already talked earlier about my homie Sayaka, who must be protected at all costs. But like she's really is my favorite character from this, and there is apparently a novel spinoff that's just about her that your boy might end up ordering. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. I really love that character, and she, like you said, she does some things that are kind of fucked up and slightly heinous, but I don't think it was ever like specifically, with some kind of aggravated intent.
Right.
Yeah. But I really like that character. I really like the way that they give you, like I said last week, they give you that class S thing with her having had a girlfriend and then her girlfriend being like, well, okay, this was just a phase, bye. And her being like, no, I still feel this way. And then that's such a freaking trope. And then they give her the friend of the cafe owner who is an adult and is still in such a lesbian relationship. They give you that little, they actually like show, no, this is a thing that can happen.
Lesbians.
Chill, dude. But yeah, man, I'm done talking about it because I'm just gonna keep gushing. But I really enjoyed this show. I love these characters.
I'm glad that I watched it. I liked it, and I will say that if this weren't something we were reviewing, I probably would have got 2 episodes in. Ooh, Paco's pissed about something. My parrot is going off.
It's not gonna pick up on the mic.
It probably not. But I probably would have got a couple episodes in, 2 or 3 episodes and been like, yeah. It's whatever, because it does move at kind of a slower
But are you glad
pace.
You finished it?
Yeah, I am glad that I finished it.
You just wish that it ended different?
I ended up quite enjoying it until I felt so burned by that last scene.
Oh, my baby. And is that the aquarium? That's a water burn, baby.
And I was like, oh, man, a dolphin show?
You got boiled, boy.
Oh, these girls about to get wet.
They literally had to put ponchos on because they were in the splash zone.
100 yen. That's cheap.
Oh, Jesus.
But I enjoyed the show. Like, I don't want anybody to take away that I didn't enjoy the show. I did.
I do want to point out that Reverse Bunny Girl might be the coolest thing I've ever said on the show. This was the Reverse Bunny Girl for us.
Yeah. It's a good show, though. It was good.
I think you actually gave Bunny Girl a 9.5, and I gave it a 5.5, so it was even more egregious there.
Yeah.
Like the gap. There was a whole extra...
And like I said, dude, I was for real, like, before the show was over, I was ready to give it an Animos, definitely. Bump it up, but
that ending just hurt you.
I couldn't send somebody into that without knowing full well, hey, you might not get a very satisfying ending here.
Man, fair's fair.
But yeah, that was Bloom Into You.
Excuse me.
I also thought it was an opportunity missed that they didn't call the play Bloom Into You.
It probably should have. I'm giving Roger. We have some anime news.
I didn't fall for it this time, dude.
Ah, come on. You still got to do the noise. All right, so we're going to kind of cut this one short. Roger's got a couple stories, and then I think for our last bit, we our last couple bits, but let's just do the anime news. Hit it.
The first one is going to be pretty quick. This is, we live in Texas.
Now, I don't know what these are, so this will be fun for me.
Yeah, so the ACON, the anime convention, the largest anime convention here in the state, is getting moved from Fort Worth to Dallas. It's under new ownership.
Ooh.
So the date changes. So this is just a PSA. If you don't know about this, if you haven't been following it, and you've reserved a hotel or something like that,
cancel them.
Cancel that hotel, and go to the Facebook page or something like that, and go follow along with that because the ownership is different. ACON is a pretty fun convention. You ever go to any of them anime conventions?
I've never been to a convention in my
maybe
life.
we got to go to, good buddies to a convention, man.
I wouldn't hate it if I can get the time off.
I have been to most of the conventions. I prefer A-Fest. It's a bit smaller than ACON. I'm a very big guy, and ACON has big lines and a lot of people, and it's hard to move.
Gets crowded, gets overwhelming.
And apparently that's generated some issues with people.
Suffocation.
But and I think that's leading towards the new ownership and stuff like that, and they're trying to remedy some of it. But at the end of the day, if you've already have a hotel booked or whatever, go unbook that hotel. It's moving to Dallas as opposed to Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm. Don't mess up.
Huh?
I was saying don't mess up.
Oh, don't mess up. Yeah.
Don't mess up. All right.
What else you got, boy? The next one is we're going to talk about the Detective Pikachu for the live action film that's coming out for
Oh
Pokemon.
no! Oh no! What's it gonna be? What are you telling me?
This isn't. It's there was just a line of toys and trading card game and all that stuff announced for the movie.
Wait, like, so when you say trading card game, you mean a new thing, or is it part of?
No,
the
it's part of Pokemon TCG.
Can I have a Detective Pikachu card?
I absolutely believe they're gonna make plenty of Detective Pikachu holographics, dude.
Oh my god!
Which I thought was pretty cool, and also
they're gonna put those in the Blu-ray case.
Yeah. Also, if you're a fan of hanging out with your good buddies and
we're probably gonna do a watch party.
Yeah, we're gonna go. That's gonna be another Good Buddies meetup.
When is that?
May 10th, I believe.
May 10th. All right.
Let me double check on that. I know it says the date in here somewhere.
Was that a Friday?
I don't know. What day do movies come out?
I mean, Friday. In
May
theaters,
10th.
usually Fridays.
North America, May 10th. So we will probably be doing a Good Buddies meetup with that
very
one.
Exciting.
Who knows if we'll do it on the first day?
Oh yeah.
But we'll
figure
find
it
a
out.
good time. But yeah, get ready if you're a fan of Pokemon and collecting them damn Pokemon cards. Like if you look around in my studio here, you'll see them everywhere.
I saw like a weird like hieroglyphic Dragonite over there. What's that?
It's a secret rare Dragonite from Evolutions. It's all gold and beautiful.
Fucking nerd.
It's all gold and beautiful. I love it.
Friggin' nerd.
That's the news there. And then the final one that I have is the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie.
How's that doing?
Dominated in theaters, dude.
Did it whip it?
Yeah.
Did it whip it good?
Let's see. It's in the top 10 for sure of highest opening anime in a theater.
That's really exciting.
Let's see.
Put it up on Box Office Mojo. Tell me about it.
It earns an estimated $7 million on its opening in the U.S. alone.
It's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all for an anime movie.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's see.
It's the Dead Air song.
Yeah, man, I need to find.
Dead Air song. You sing it so there's no.
I know
dead
that's in
air
the
on thing.
top 10. I think it's in the top 5 of U.S. anime movies to hit the box office of how well it did. So I just wanted to shout out to the people out there that are big fans of Dragon Ball. It got me into anime for a long time. You know, it brought me to where I am. I'm glad people are still enjoying it. I'm glad this movie is killing it out there. I was skeptical about them bringing back Broly, but everything that I've read is it's a really good movie. And
Last time I saw that man, he was a goo monster.
Yeah.
That was weird. I didn't like it.
That's that Bio Broly, dude. That was
But
not
that did give
good.
you that is the one where they did the three-way Kamehameha, right?
Yes.
The trio, yeah. It's the only good thing about that movie.
Yep. Father, son, Kamehameha. But
It does feel
just
weird to call it the
exciting
three-way
that-
Kamehameha.
it's exciting that an anime can come out here and hit the theaters and
And
make,
kind of whip a little ass.
yeah, make a sizable amount of money. You know, the community's strong, and that's super cool.
Yeah, man.
That's what I wanted to talk about on that one. That is all the news that I have for us today. I know it runs a little smoother if Brandon has news, but we have a bunch of other stuff we need to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about this one. So it is, of course, we're a week into winter premieres and whatnot of animes. So we watched a lot, both of us. Between the two of us, we watched a whole lot. Usually I don't get a chance to watch a whole bunch, but holidays are over. Jobs cut an hour so they can save them up for the end of this year. So baby watched a bunch.
Nice.
So we're gonna talk about some stuff that we watched, some stuff we both watched, some things that only one of us watched. Let's start off, Roger. Roger, do you want to ask me a question?
Yeah, good buddy. What you been watching?
You know damn well what I watched because you wouldn't stop texting me about it. This man.
I texted you as soon as I finished it.
We can't really talk about it too much because the less you know about this going in, the better you really want to go in as dry as you possibly can.
As dry as Brandon and I did.
Holy moly. This man texted me and said, dude, you gotta watch The Promised Neverland.
And this is like after we finished recording last week.
Yes, and I thought it would be fun to like read those texts. I don't think we can because it's gonna get a little spoilery, but we have to at least give you this because you might not be comfortable with it. The stuff gets fairly gruesome, and the show revolves primarily about an orphanage full of very young children.
Who are numbered.
Can't really say more than that without getting weird. But
I mean, you notice right off the bat that...
Ooh, boy. Yeah, I was really looking. I was like, is there a 24601 in there? Come on, Jean. Come on. But there was not. But yes, it's a bunch of kids. They appear to have number tattoos on their necks.
One of them has an adorable bunny named Bernie.
Yep.
It's so adorable.
Anyway, you should check out that
adorable.
show. Just remember what I said. It's a bunch of kids. Things get fairly gruesome.
We'll talk more about it next week.
We will probably talk about it more next week. But yeah, that's all I really want to say because the less you know about it, the better. I'm watching that second episode tonight. Let me give you another one I watched.
It's so good. Promise Neverland. Check it out.
I watched a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that is premiering right now. One I watched, which is currently streaming on Amazon, 2 episodes out as of this recording, is called Dororo.
We've had a lot of good buddies mention that one to us.
Dororo. So this is one that
it's in my queue. I haven't checked it out yet, but it is.
So here's the cool thing about this one is I didn't know what it was. I had heard about it and I was like, that sounds kind of familiar. And then I saw it and I was like, wait a minute, because it triggered something in my mind. I remember years ago, and I texted my good buddy about this. My good buddy Julius is one of my oldest friends. We were hanging out. We were talking about video games. He says, hey, have you ever played this video game on PS2? It's called Blood Will Tell. And I said, I've never heard of that. And he told me, well, it's this crazy thing where there's this guy, he's got like these prosthetic arms that he pulls off and he's got swords in his arms and he has to run around and beat a bunch of demons. And every time he beats a demon, he gets a part of him back. Like he gets back an arm, he gets back his eyes, he gets back something. And that is what this show is. It is in fact called Blood Will Tell. It's based on Dororo, the same series, the same everything.
It's a manga from the 60s, I believe.
Yes, which I've heard the manga is good, but also kind of weird because it's done in a fairly cutesy style. Yeah, despite its very serious tone. The anime, I watched the first couple episodes. Baby, I'm into it. I'm probably gonna stick around for the long haul. Now I will say that it kind of has that thing where if you have, so basically this main there's a couple main characters. The one who's running around killing demons and stuff. This is it's a period piece, first of all, back in the Sengoku, I think it's called, the Warring States period in Japan, where you got all these warlords and everybody's fighting. There's all this war going on and whatnot, and this person is running around killing demons. And here's the thing, it kind of falls into that like a disability makes you a superhero kind of thing, where like person is literally blind, deaf, apparently mute, survives purely on prosthetics and apparently magic, and is still able to do all this superhuman stuff, which cool, it's a cartoon. That makes sense. I would be interested to know what an actual blind person thinks about any of that, but hey, I'm not, so I can't talk on it. The other thing is that, and this is real spoiler, I'm not going to talk about it, but there's a certain thing that happens with a character that back in the 60s was handled a certain way that we would look at now and say, hey, that's pretty fucked up. So maybe we'll see how that differs, or if it differs at all. But I'm so far very into this show. It is pretty gruesome with some of the battles you get. There's a bit at the end of the first episode that, it's not even someone getting hurt or dying, but it still looks really crazy. But yeah, it gets pretty wild, this show. A lot of sword fighting demons and whatnot. Good times will be had by all. I'm going to stick around for the rest of it. I will say that the original story was apparently like 48 demons this person had to hunt down. This one, it's apparently only 12, which makes sense because we got like 12 episodes. Yeah. But yeah, I'm into it. I can't wait to see where else it goes.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna follow up. Roger, give me one that you saw that I didn't.
Let me talk about Grimm's Notes, the animation.
Ooh.
So this one might be 2 episodes in now.
All right.
But essentially, it's built around Grimm's fairy tales. The first one that it drops you into is Little Red Riding Hood.
Sure.
And everybody in this world, even the people that are going to destroy this evil, is tainting these stories, essentially. Everybody has a book, and their entire destiny is written in that book. One of the characters, his book has nothing written in the pages. It's a blank book.
A white blank page.
And this seemed somewhat interesting, and that's about the synopsis of it. Synopsis. How do you say that word?
Synopsis.
Synopsis. I knew I was saying it wrong.
You nailed it.
It was not great.
You didn't care for it?
No, because it just drops you into all the stuff. If I hadn't read that, I wouldn't have known a single thing of what was going on.
Yeah.
It explains none of that.
Okay.
This whole thing seems like maybe it could be built in the Little Red Riding Hood universe, but at the very end, they built it like, hey, we're going to be jumping from book to book. And at the very end, the guy pulls out his book. He's like, well, mine doesn't have any pages or anything written in its pages.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and
feels like it could be interesting.
It feels like it could be interesting, but
the presentation just didn't get
they don't explain anything at all. You get nothing.
Bummer.
And the
get
characters
nothing at all.
Yeah. And the characters are freaking flat, dude.
Oh, yeah.
They're all like stereotypical.
Very two-dimensional.
Yes. There's just nothing noteworthy about it. I'll give it another couple episodes and see.
You gotta give it the rule of 3.
But for right now, Grimm's Notes animation, it's the Noscos, dude.
Noscos?
Yeah, it's the Noscos.
All right. Well, there you go. I got one for you.
Okay.
I watched a series called, the first episode of it, it's called Domestic Girlfriend. So this is one that, just looking at the little like poster image for it, I thought, oh, this seems like some fan servicey crap I won't be super into. It ends up being it starts out anyway as a fairly serious melodrama, which the whole thing centers around this young man named Matsuo. He's in high school. He has a very young teacher. Perhaps, I don't know if it was here, I might say student teacher, like, one of the, just got out of college or something, but she's apparently a just straight up teacher. She's very young though, named Hina, who he's got a big fat crush on. And the whole story starts with him having just lost his virginity, with a girl he meets, when he's hanging out with some friends, kind of group date thing named Rui. And they kind of they're talking. They don't really hit it off per se, but she's kind of like, hey, do you want to get out of here? Go back to her place. And this is like in the first 5 minutes. And
they totally bonk.
Well, the thing is that she's very matter of fact about it. She's basically just saying, listen, people talk. They say I don't understand how things work because I haven't experienced this or that. So I want to experience this. Will you have sex with me? And he, to his credit, my dude takes a second and thinks about it, and they talk for a bit. And he's like, oh, okay. And then they do. And here's the thing, is that it goes from there. It happened. There's not any big revelations or anything. At this point, I'm watching this man, this could be a very interesting look on sex and how that's not the end all be all of a relationship, and how there's so much more that could happen. And how sometimes feelings have different, there's different ways that things can happen depending on how you feel and what you do physically, and et cetera, et cetera. This could be a really interesting look at that. And then it takes a big old left turn into Ha-Haville because my boy's dad...
I love Ha-Haville.
You love Ha-Haville. My boy's dad is a widower. Mom died about 10 years ago. Well, son, she's coming over. What? Who's coming over? Well, I've been dating someone and I think I'm going to ask her to marry me. Oh, okay. Well, she comes on over. Oh, hello, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's this nice older lady. Oh, these are my 2 daughters. It's the teacher and the girl he just fucked.
Nice.
And then they all move in together immediately.
Sick.
Yeah, that's the show. And honestly, I don't hate it. It seems like it seems like it still has some cool stuff it could say about these things. I will give you this one. It ends on the worst note, where character has had a beer or two and is passed out on the couch and she's just snoozing, and he does, like in that island show, he does the lean in and he's gonna kiss her. That's how it ends. That first episode ends, and I'm like, all right, it's one of these. Great. I'm kind of out. Like I said, I'm gonna give it the rule of 3. I always give it 3 episodes before I say yay or nay.
In the island show, I don't know if it's different in this one. It's not really passable, but the island show might have been worse because there was a very strong age gap there.
Gross. Yeah, this one, it feels bad to me, but I'm gonna give it at least a couple more, see if it has anything else to say. But I don't have super high hopes for this one. You got another one for me, Roger?
I'll give it a go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I got another one. I watched Girly Air Force.
Tell me about Girly. How jiggly is it?
The first episode, there was almost no jiggling.
Well, okay.
But there was not much of anything else.
Fair.
I don't have very high expectations or hopes for this one.
Fair enough.
And it might not make it past the 3rd episode that I'll give it.
What's the pitch? Give me the elevator pitch. Give me the 20-second pitch.
So there are these, I don't know if they're aliens or what they are. They're called the XI. And
the Z.
It starts out, these people are on a boat. It's a very large boat. The people are fleeing from something. And these alien
things?
Airplanes.
Bunch of
They're like
Xenus.
airplanes almost. They're glowy airplanes, and granted, they look pretty cool. They look like they make a neat video game.
Okay.
They start attacking the ship. And the Air Force is called in. I guess it's just, the people are from China. They're fleeing China. They're headed to Japan. So the Air Force comes in, and they get dominated by these alien aircraft things.
Just zapping them out of the sky.
Yep. Then as the people are jumping into another boat, a smaller boat, to try to float away because their big boat is sinking at this point, a glowing red aircraft with the rising sun on it flies forward, and it destroys these other craft, the Z. And then it plummets into the ocean, and it's just floating there. And as it floats, your main character, which I can't remember his name, that's how missable it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I just happened to look on my phone, and I was looking at a page of reviews before we started, and right there I stopped on the review for Girly Afros episode 1.
Okay, so I don't. Maybe this will say something different than what I'm going to say, but the guy jumps out of his boat to swim to help this pilot. His parents were pilots.
Oh, okay.
He jumps out to go help this pilot because the plane is just sitting there, the glowing red plane. And as he opens up the cockpit, or the capsule opens up on the plane, there's a beautiful pink-haired girl inside who immediately steps up, reaches out, gives him a kiss, and passes out.
She was learning his language. She's Starfire.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels weird.
So, they make it to Japan, and he's with a girl. The girl does not, her family is gone. They don't know if they're going to come in. They don't know if they survived or not. There are a lot of tense things here. It just doesn't feel very tense. Or as intense, like it's hard to you should really feel bad because their parents might be dead, but
yeah. But mostly it's just like, oh, look how cute she is.
It's just like, it's hard to really care.
Does it give you like more of the, oh, look how cute she is, and not, oh, look how sad she is?
It's more of like the, oh, look how interested in the guy she is.
Nah.
And I'm usually one to look right over that. As Brandon knows, it doesn't take a whole lot for me to look over stuff in anime.
Yeah, no kidding.
I give things pretty big breaks and very large chances. And I'm going to give this one more of a chance, to be fair.
Okay.
So boy wants to join the military.
I said 20-second pitch. And, no, kidding.
Yeah,
go
sorry.
Ahead. Go.
The girl doesn't want him to join the military, follows him as he's going to the military base to try to track down this airplane, because obviously the military base is where this airplane's going to be. He just happens to see it driving by on a truck, like, oh, okay, logic there. So he tells it. She's like, no, I don't want you to join the military. I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to tell your family. So they try to talk you out of this. Boom, black bags over their head. They're shoved into a van.
Jesus.
And pulled into this hangar where a guy,
these
the
Chinese
next scene,
murder vans?
It's Japanese.
I know.
The guy.
It's a joke.
Oh, okay. The guy pulls out the bag, points a gun at him. He's like, hey, I will kill you if you don't tell me what you were doing out there. You're a spy.
Jesus.
And the jet cranks up. The jet is in the background. The big red glowy one. It cranks up. It starts like blowing all the team away or whatever, as if it is to rescue.
Why were they so close to that jet?
Rescue this boy.
My boy.
And she comes out, and they're like, okay, we can drop that. Thank you. We got Miss Dramatic out of her jet. And they're like, hey, this girl seems to be really into you. So will you team up with us in the military to help us fight the Z?
This sounds shitty.
It's, dude, I can't explain it in a more elegant way than that.
So literally, like, she's the secret weapon, right? She's the super
there's
badass.
two more of them.
Well, now hang on, but like, she's one of these super badasses. She's the Ray, and the only reason this guy's here is because she's into him, and they can use him to help make her do stuff. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds like they're
Gross.
like, well, she glanced at him, she loves him, and now she will.
It was love at first sight.
And we'll see where it goes from there, I guess. But
I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't have high hopes right now, and there are at least 2 more pilots that are going to get introduced, which are all very attractive looking little anime girls.
Feels weird.
It feels weird that I said little anime girls.
Yeah, well, you did say that. And
I didn't mean to.
I mean, I feel like it's an apt description.
Like that,
fair enough.
Yeah, sorry, that was Girly Air Force.
All right. Well, let's get off of that show about these adorable anime girls flying planes and right on to this other show about adorable anime girls flying planes. I watched The Magnificent Kotobuki, which I don't know what Kotobuki is. I don't know what makes it so magnificent. I know that this show...
the hell's a Kotobuki?
It didn't really grab me quite right. It's basically, so this one starts out in like some kind of little, I don't know, saloon kind of thing. There's a bunch of dudes there who you find out are pilots. They're like bodyguard pilots. They're hired to like, guard this aircraft that they're apparently on. It's a big blimp, a Zeppelin or something. And they're sitting there and they're like, blah, blah, blah. And then like one of them goes over and tries to hit on this table full of adorable little anime girls. And I got to tell you, it's fairly stark the way these dudes are dressed. They look like just dressed like relatively normal dudes with like, what you might see in a saloon, like a long coat and all, regular ass drab colors, to go over to the anime girls. Oh boy, they're all like color coded. This one's all yellow. This one's all red. This one's all blue. They're very bright and shiny. And ooh boy, but like he's like, oh yeah, I'm so great. Blah blah blah. I've got like 11 stars. I took down 11 other planes and stuff. And the one girl's like, I mean, neat, whatever. I've got like 43. And he's like, what? So then they get attacked by pirates. They all jump in their planes. The dudes fly out. They all get shot down. The girls fly out. They whip a little ass. I don't really know what the hell's up with this show, or nothing about it really made me care. I will say it's fairly jarring because it is, all the characters are CG, everything, all the background stuff are 2D, and it felt weird.
Yeah, I heard somebody talking about this one.
I actually heard, I've heard people saying that like, oh, the CG's actually decent in this one. Like, you get used to it pretty quick. I don't feel like it.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should check it out, man. Maybe you check out Magnificent Kotobuki and let me know what you think. But it really didn't hit me that hard. I am interested because there's one enemy plane that shows up that like one of the characters apparently recognized and goes after. It was the Red Baron. No, I don't know what's up, but I don't feel myself going too far into this one. But once again, I will give it the rule of 3. I will give it 3 episodes, and we'll see how I feel.
Okay. Well,
tell me about another one, big boy.
This will be my final one that I talk about.
Oh yeah.
And it was one that I was pretty excited for, and it delivered. It delivered really well.
What's that?
My roommate is a cat.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you listened to last week, you know that I'd be slapping on my cat while I'm watching anime, and I'm listening to...
Kittens!
Yeah, listen to the Doo Kitten songs.
The worst.
This guy, it starts off, he doesn't have any friends, of course. He's hard to like. He's a shut-in, and he's a mystery writer. He writes novels.
Mm-hmm.
And the show starts right off at his parents' funeral.
Jesus.
So one day, as
just like Harry Potter and Batman.
Yep. One day, as he's visiting his parents' grave to burn some incense, a kitty jumps out. Yeah.
Oh,
he leaves some food over there for them, and the kitten comes out and attacks the food.
And it's the soul of his mother.
And he's like looking at the cat's eyes, and he gets this great idea for a mystery novel involving a cat.
Nice.
Where the cat has murderous intentions.
You can't see this, good buddies, but I'm glaring at Roger like, what the fuck?
He takes this cat home, and the story from there is told out the rest of the way in his perspective. So he's watching the cat. The cat's doing, like a bit apprehensive about him, looking around the corner, and he's writing and working on his book and stuff like that. And he has an editor, and he's a new editor for the main character.
Sure.
And their team tells him, hey, you got to watch him, and then it cuts off the scene there. So you don't know what you have to watch him for.
Gotcha.
What they're trying to say is you need to watch him because he gets so heavy into his work and he has nobody else there that he forgets to eat.
Oh, and he'll just
and stuff
die.
Like that.
He'll just end up in the hospital.
This guy is studying this cat to write this novel, and at some point he's writing down, and he goes to the door where he sees a cat run past, and he steps down, and there's some cat food in the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, what the hell is this? So he picks up the food, and he dumps it away, and the cat freaks out trying to pull the food out of the trash. So he's reading in there that cats sometimes like to give people their owners gifts or whatever.
Right. Like, hey, you're too shitty of a hunter. Here's a dead bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more, this cat keeps dragging food by his door.
Mm-hmm. The cat's there for him. That's beautiful.
Until the cat is pushing its bowl to the door.
Oh.
And as the guy finally comes out, he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" He faints. And then it switches to the cat's perspective.
Oh, boy.
Of what this cat... And the cat has a voice at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about like, this guy is so stupid.
Why didn't he eat? I gave him a food.
The cat doesn't want to stay there. The cat ate the food. The cat plans on leaving, but it doesn't want to leave until it's repaid its debt.
It feels bad. This guy's going to die. He'll die without me. I'm the good kitty.
Yep, and there's other mentions of kitties in there.
Guys, I'm smiling so hard. This is great.
This kitty has learned the hard way that if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't eat, or if you eat the wrong things, that you might die. So this cat knows that.
Cat's been through some shit.
Yeah, the cat has been through some shit.
Cat's just sitting there with a cigarette.
It was a stray cat. It was dumped out, and it seems to be very apprehensive around humans in general. It doesn't trust them.
Rad, dude. This sounds interesting.
Yeah,
I'm down for it.
It's really good, dude, and it's fucking cute.
It sounds adorable. I probably got to check that out.
So this cat is like shoving its food in there to try to feed this guy because it knows he's probably something's going to happen to him. And then you get a scene where the guy... the editor has broken the dude's window and he's trying to shake the guy awake, and the guy wakes up and he's got cat food on his face. And then it shows...
Is it like the little hard food, like it's a little cross, like a little X on his face?
And then it shows a flashback to the cat, and the cat's like looking at him as he starts shoveling the cat food in his mouth. It's so good, dude.
That sounds really good.
I can't wait to watch more of it. I'm very excited. This is gonna fill that hole that once Honda-san rolled out, my really lighthearted show that I quite enjoyed. This one's gonna fill that hole for me.
Nice, dude.
I'm super excited about. My
Sounds
roommate
rad.
is a cat. Can't recommend it enough. Go check it out, especially
cool,
if you
man.
like kitties.
I got a few more actually,
Okay.
so I'm just gonna breeze through these real quick. Quintessential quintuplets. It's basic
I've
harem
heard a lot of
trash.
good things about it too.
It's basic harem trash. I mean, it's. I will say this. Yeah, of course you love it. It revolves around a dude named Futaro.
I'm no fucking Tenchi Muyo.
This dude named Futaro who goes to school. He's in high school. He doesn't have any friends, as seen by the beginning of the show, where he's ordering his food, being very frugal, because if you just get the rice bowl, they charge you this much, but if you get the beef bowl without the beef, you get the same thing plus miso soup for less. Man, what a smart customer. So he ends up like sitting by himself, but he's not sitting by himself because there's a new girl that just transferred, and there's a big awkward confrontation. Who are you? You can sit there. I was already here. This is where I was sitting. One of those. Anyway, they don't get off to the best foot. He also comes from a fairly poor family, which is why he's so frugal. And he gets hired by a very wealthy family to go and tutor their daughter, or so he thinks. He then runs into a bunch of other girls during the day, gets there, there's in fact 5 of them. Okay, and they're all just real dum-dums, and he's got to tutor them because he's the smart boy, and he's got to do this job because baby need to eat. But that's basically the show. It also starts, the very beginning of it, the pre-stinger, if you will, involves him. You see him on his wedding day marrying a redhead girl. The main character has very red hair. The other 4 all have orange hair, pink hair, shades in between there. So it could be any of them. That rhymed. Unintentional. The fact of the matter is you don't know who it is, and the whole show is to find out who it is, and I honestly don't think I care enough to find out who it is.
So you telling me that this is a harem mystery?
Basically.
I'm about to go full
What I'm
Scoob
really
in the gang
telling
on
you
this
is
one,
that
dude.
what I'm really telling you is that these girls, they're so wealthy, they just don't really care. They don't really need to know anything. Basically, Roger, they some rich girls, and they gone too far because they know it don't matter anyway. They can rely on the old man's money. They can rely on the old man's money. It's a bitch, girl. It's the worst. Had to get that one in. But that's that show. I don't know. I don't really know how I'm gonna feel about it. But like I said, I'll give it 3. It's already 2
I think I'm gonna check it out.
It's already 2 out. Second episode was kind of cute because
You're really talking to me into these anime, dude.
okay. Second to last one, we got Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka. All right.
I saw this one and I read the
It's not supposed to be funny.
Is it funny?
It's not supposed to be funny. So the whole thing is that way back in the distant year of 2016, I think, a bunch of these evil little demons started invading the Earth from another universe or dimension or whatever. And they all look like teddy bears and shit. They look very cute, but like a fucked up teddy bear, right? So A year later, it says someone from the spirit realm comes over and makes a deal, and they're going to imbue certain people with great powers. They will become magical girls. They will defend. And then you cut to a scene. It's like fucking Saving Private Ryan with these magical girls. It's a very militaristic magical girl show where like you see these dudes who are part of this big battle. This is apparently the final battle. You see and like one of them's got his arm straight up blown off, and they're like, I can't believe it all comes down to these little girls. And you see these girls standing on top of a volcano about to fight a big lava monster, and the main girl, Asuka, swear to God, looks down at her hand at the dog tags of her fallen magical girl comrades before vowing to avenge them and finish the fight, fucking Master Chief style. And they go in, time jump, 3 years later, that war's over. She is now in high school, trying to live a normal life. They just keep dragging me back in.
So it's like Violet Evergarden.
Kind of. No, not at all. But like, it gets fairly absurd at times. Like literally, she's approached by a dude who's like, "We need you to come back. I told you I'm done killing. Once I got out of middle school, I said I'd never kill again." What the fuck are you talking about?
Surely it's not supposed to be totally serious.
It's played so seriously, and that's kind of why I want to keep watching it. I don't.
So like, I read the tag for it. I read the pitch, and I passed on this one. I actually was looking for things to watch, and I was like,
I don't think it's not gonna break any records. It's not gonna be on my best of the year list, I don't think. But I mean, I'm at least gonna give it the 3. Like I say, rule of 3, man. You give it 3, and then you decide if you're in or out. Usually, but yeah, man. I don't know. There's a bit where like you see like a flashback of her coming home and seeing these 2 little messed up teddy bears, and she's like, what are they called? I think they're called Disas, like disaster, but just the first bit, Disas, is what the demons are called or whatever. And they're these adorable little teddy bear looking things. She's like, "What are you doing here? Where are my parents?" And they're like, "Oh, they're fine." It's like, "Are they alive?" "Yes, for now." And she's like, "Give them back." And they're like, "We'll give them back to you piece by piece." And they say this in like such a cutesy little face, and then they disappear, and there's just a box there, and she opened it, and it's just a severed hand. Like, what in the fuck? They're so cute. What is happening? I don't know. It's weird. I'm going to give it a couple more. There you go. All right. That's Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka, which has a very long name and it's absurd. It's just going to be gun porn, and military stuff.
Can they make a Call of Duty game like that?
I wish they would, dude.
I'd play the
fuck out of that character.
Dude.
Jumping around with my fucking AK. All right. Last one for me, and definitely the one I feel the most promise for. This is the one I'm into the most.
Okay.
This one actually was recommended to me by a good buddy who no longer works at my job, but who was always recommending me stuff. And I was kind of like, yeah, whatever, because dude told me about a lot of jiggly stuff. I'm not really into the fan service. Fair's fair.
You lost a good buddy at your job,
I didn't.
man?
Well, he doesn't work there anymore, but you know who it is. Sent us a lot of questions. It's our good buddy, Ranook the Brave.
Oh, nice.
He recommended this to me, saying he was really into the manga. Turns out it's going to get made into an anime. You got to check this out. I was like, yeah, whatever. I saw it. I said, oh, let me check that out. I fucking love it. I absolutely adore this show. I'm just going to read to you what I wrote down here because I wrote a page on this one, unlike the others. All right. This is a fairly ridiculous comedy focusing on a pair of sociopaths who want to date but refuse to be the one to confess how they feel, as that would mean they are the weaker of the two. They are very prideful to a fault. Kaguya and Miyuki, this girl and this guy, are both incredibly prideful. She is a brilliant heiress to $1 trillion family. He, compared to her, is a commoner, but he gets all the highest scores. He's very regal, this guy, and he is they are the student council with their friend Chica, who is a bit of an airhead. He runs it. She's second. She's like the vice president, and Chica is also there. Okay. This show is basically a pair of Patrick Batemans from American Psycho trying to trick the other into saying that they love them. It is basically Death Note if Light and L were super hot for each other. Hotter for each other. I've read some fanfics like that. It's absolutely absurd. There's bits where, like, first episode, Chica's sitting there. She's like, oh man, I guess I won a contest or something. She pulls some 2 tickets to a romance movie out of an envelope. I can't go see this though. I'm busy that day. Do you want them? And they both immediately in their heads are like, the guy's like, I would like to go see a movie with her, but I can't just say that. That would mean that I'm confessing my love, basically. And then they're like, oh yeah, I heard that if you go see this movie with someone that you're destined to fall in love or whatever. he's like, what? No, I can't. And he's like saying, oh, no, I don't. He's basically says, oh, no, well, I am free that day, but I don't know. And then Kaguya, the girl, just starts flipping her shit because in her mind, she's like, God damn it. If he doesn't ask me out, then what was the point of even planning those tickets in her locker and making sure it was on his day off? God, oh, Jesus. Like, it's absolutely amazing. And also, I got to point this one out. It is currently my number one contender for best opening theme of the year. It's so early, but good God, this one's hot. It is called Love Dramatic. It is by Masayuki Suzuki, who is known in Japan as the king of love songs. This dude sounds like Japanese freaking Tom Jones, and he's just going all the way off. This song is incredible, and the opening visuals is basically the two of them like in these James Bond ass scenes where like they're hiding behind each other with guns and shit and like about to take the other out, and my dude is just singing his ass off. Love is war, love is war, love is war. It's so good. It's like the hottest thing I've seen in the past several weeks, and I fucking love it. Check this one out, man. It's absolutely fire.
Nice, man. I'll definitely can I get the name of it one more time?
It is Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
Okay.
And I want you to understand how little I'm joking about how much I love that song. Your boy went on CD Japan and ordered the single. I gots to have it. That song is hot. It's so good. But yeah, man, that's what we've been watching. If you want to tell us what you've been watching, hit us up at the email. We're going to get to those plugs. But first, do we have a question, Roger?
We do have a question.
Give it to me, my boy.
We're loading the question, dude.
Oh, wow. You got to
Neo
go to
Geo CD style.
Gotta jump to the YouTube page.
No, I have it written down.
Oh, okay. Copy paste.
I've actually had it pulled up.
Took a screenshot.
That was a callback to High School Girl, which I really loved.
This guy. That was good.
It is from Wiru Senpai, our good buddy Wiru Senpai.
Wait.
Then my way buddy. He frequents the comments on YouTube. He or she, I don't know if it's a male or female.
I jumped in there.
Really cool person though, and they in the comments. Yeah, Brandon was talking, and I always try to reply if I can. And Wiru asked us a question that we are going to answer
right now.
Get ready. What are your favorite categories of anime to watch, and how long have both of you been watching anime?
Was it watch or binge?
To watch. What are your favorite categories of anime to watch, and how long have both of you been watching anime?
Cool.
Do you want me to confirm to make sure that it wasn't binge?
I'm looking it up. You go ahead.
Okay.
You answer the question, bud. We actually talked about like how long have we been watching in episode 0, but we can hit it again.
Yeah. So, 0 has been a long time. Dude, this is a 40-second episode, man.
We getting there, baby.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, my favorite type of anime to watch is generally I fall in love with like psychological and horror anime the most. But they're so few and far between, and even more few and far between are good horror and psychological anime. But when they nail those, they freaking nail them, and they hit straight to the top. It's like the first season of Psycho-Pass. That freaking anime was so good. When They Cry, there's been no shortage of me talking about When They Cry.
Nice, dude.
I freaking love it. And, we have an anime right now, The Promised Neverland, which seems to be a very big psychological horror anime, and I'm super pumped about it. But I also like, I love comedies, like comedy anime. I like anything that makes me laugh. I like that adorable shit. There's really not much that I like I said, I'm pretty forgiving with anime. I can watch most things and find some enjoyment in it. Now there are a few turds out there, but turds. Horror and stuff like that I freaking love. But if it can make me laugh, if I can get a chuckle, if there's a good ass fight scene or something like that, sure. I start falling in love. It's not hard for me to fall in love with an anime, but psychological horror would be there. And as far as long as I've been watching anime, it is 2019 now. I started watching anime around 1997 or 1998. So it has been 21 or 22 years. I watched Pokemon week 1. I was watching it.
That was before you even knew it was called anime.
Yep. I was watching Pokemon. And then I remember my other oldest memory is, I believe it was UPN. There was a channel we had at the time. It was channel 62. there was a show.
You know it's real when you remember the channel number, man.
There was. Yeah, we had a dial on our TV.
Nice.
And everything.
Living in that trailer.
The Pioneer dub of Dragon Ball Z came on for at least some of the Saiyan saga, and I didn't catch all of it, but I do remember watching Dragon Ball Z back then on non-cable TV. It was not on Cartoon Network, and I did some digging, and that was about 97 or 98 whenever that was playing on there. So that's one of my first tastes of Dragon Ball Z. And Dragon Ball Z led me into art and anime and virtually everything that I like now. Mm-hmm. So that's where it all started for me. Very, very young.
Yeah, man. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Lots of years. How about you, buddy?
Me,
Did you check and see if it was binge or watch?
It was just watch. You were right. Okay. Yeah, I was wrong on that one. So for me, as far as like stuff I like to watch, I can watch pretty much anything. I'm not real big on like the horror stuff like my buddy Roger is. I can deal with some psychological stuff. Paranoia Agent was one that springs to mind. Really love that one. Really love that one. But like there's a lot of stuff that I just can't get into. If it's mostly like gory stuff, I'm not really into that usually.
If it's all gore and no store, you know.
Well, I mean, they usually have a story, but like
the all thing, gore and no store.
This guy. For me, it's like I can't do anything that's like super duper serious, with some exceptions, like a pretty serious love story, for example. Love me a good love story. A super serious like horror thing, probably not going to be into that much.
You should check out Parasite, man. It's a good one.
I might. The thing for me is like, but there are exceptions to these because like I've watched a little bit of everything. For me, it's like specifically it just has to be something that can hold my interest that, you know, it doesn't do anything that I'm just like, okay, that's dumb.
I think that's what I wanted to say too. Yeah. I didn't want to be, you know, like I felt like that was kind of a broad thing, but I'm glad that you said it too.
I mean, it's broad, but just, like,
you know, obviously something that holds your interest, but you know, something that I don't know. Never mind. I don't know what I'm saying.
The only thing I really can't mess with, for me personally, like I can fucks with almost anything.
Yeah, what can't you watch?
The only stuff that I really can't get into is only what.
I'm not a big fan of that lolly stuff. I just want to.
Oh yeah, of course not. No, that's just weird. No, the main thing is like anything that like. If it's too fan servicey, I can't fucks with it. Particularly if it's super fan servicey and underage, super fan servicey, like you said, the lolly shit, super fan servicey, and also they're related. That shit, I'm like, just go away. But beyond that, as for like a big series, anything that like it kind of doesn't matter how good you tell me it is. If there are like 60 plus episodes out and I gotta watch through all of them, it's gonna have to be amazing for me to climb that mountain.
To go through the big stuff.
Like, big example, bunch of my friends keep telling me, man, Black Clover is badass. It's like 66 episodes out right now. I ain't getting on that mountain bike, baby. I ain't climbing that mountain right now. Out your damn mind.
I was lucky whenever you started watching MHA, because that was what 30 something.
That was
then.
Pretty huge right then, and I was
but
like,
you were sick. So.
I was like, yeah, I literally like had the the straight up flu for a solid week. I was like, I got nothing else going on. Boom, slammed through MHA, and now I'm a lifelong fan. So there you go. So that's how that stuff goes. As far as how long I've been watching, about the same as Roger. I remember Pokemon. I remember that kind of stuff. I think one of the earliest series I remember was like being in the attic at my house, because like there was my room, which is downstairs. My sister's room was the attic, but attached to her room was like the rest of the attic where we had that's where we had like the Sega and stuff set up, and we had all that. And I remember, I think we had
video games in your attic.
Yeah, dude. It was sweltering, dude. There was no AC up there. We had the sis had a little like box unit next to her bed. That was it. Or close to it, but that was where we had the Sega, and we had I had that 32X. Yeah, I was playing that Virtual Fighter, but we also had a VHS player up there, a little VHS. And I remember, I think like from the flea market, just being like, we were there, and I saw a bunch of tapes, and I was like, well, these look cool. It's cartoons. I love cartoons, and it was Sailor Moon. And that was before I knew it was called anime. I remember watching those over and over again because I love me some Sailor Moon. It just stuck with me. I was like, dude, these girls are like transforming and killing demons and shit. There's like a dude throwing roses and shit. Man, this is rad. And like I was super into it. So yeah, that's where That's when I started. It's about the same time as where I was like, had to be like 95, 96, 97, somewhere in there. But yeah, I was into it, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
We about done with some podcasting?
Yeah, we're about done.
Feel like we might have gone a little over with all the what have you been watching, but hey man, good times for everybody.
It's all good. It is all good. Let's get the heck out of here, though.
Well, good buddies, I want to know what y'all thought. If y'all have watched any of those shows we mentioned, I know there's a couple that have come out this season that we haven't watched yet. We didn't talk about this episode, so let us know what you think. If you got any recommendations, you got some recommendations, you got some requests, got something you think maybe we should check out. You want to just tell us how you feeling? How do you feel? I want to know how he feeling, how she feeling, how they feeling. Just go ahead and drop us a line. We do, of course, have the Good Buddies animepod@gmail.com. That's our email address. You can hit us up there. You can also leave us pretty much anywhere you can leave a comment. So, of course, you can check out this podcast pretty much anywhere you find podcasts are sold, even though we don't sell them. That's your Stitcher, your Podcast Addict is what I use, your Podbean. You got all those, iTunes, obviously, Apple Podcasts. Hit us up. Check them out. Anywhere you can leave a comment, odds are we'll find it. Go ahead and leave us a like. Smash that like button. 5 stars. Leave us a review. Tell us how you feel about it. Beyond that, we do also have the Facebook group, The Good Buddies Universe on Facebook. Mm-hmm. We also have the Twitter, TGB_AnimePod.
Yep.
We also have the Tumblr, which I think is officially dead. I actually realized I haven't posted any of our recent episodes there, so probably going to shut it down.
Dude, I'll give you the Twitter, man. You can have it.
I'll take it. But yeah, man, we assuming I don't shut it down, thegoodbuddies.tumblr.com. And then beyond that, I think that's it for our main media stuff. We're not on Spotify because we're not cool enough, but you know who is? Our good buddies Married with Seamonsters, a.k.a. the Mary Janes. We want to thank them for our opening theme song, Paperdoll. You can find them on Spotify, but that track and so many of their other awesome tracks are only available on marriedwithseamonsters.bandcamp.com.
They just got put up on Marvel's YouTube.
Mm-hmm. I saw that earlier, man.
A little short series going for them, and
you gotta face it, tiger, face it, tiger.
Yeah, Face the Tiger was on there, dude. It got used, and it was super exciting.
Yeah, man.
They didn't drop them in the links in the description below, which I do, so come on.
Yeah, would have been nice.
Let's throw in that shade at Marvel. Like,
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, do we want to link to that specific Marvel thing? Because then it's like,
just type in Marvel Spider-Gwen short.
It was what was it? It was like Chasing Ghosts was the name of the episode.
Ghosts.
That was the name of the episode. I can't remember what the thing's called. It's like
super cool though, man.
I'm just gonna look it up real quick. Dead Air Song is the Dead Air Song. But if you want to check that out,
I took my guitars out of here. I was about to pull a guitar.
Marvel Rising, Chasing Ghosts, starring Dove Cameron, Chloe Bennett, blah, blah, blah. Check that out. It's on Marvel HQ. They're about like 14 and a half minutes in, I think. It starts rocking out with Face It Tiger by our good buddies Married with Seamonsters, a.k.a. the Mary Janes. It's hot stuff. Check it. Loving that exposure they're getting.
Yep,
but that's our opening thing. We also want to give a shout out to our good buddy Petty Theft. That is how you pronounce it. 2 P's at the beginning, 2 T's at the end. Petty Theft on Twitter and on SoundCloud for the use of our closing theme, which we are still currently calling Sweet Anime Dreams. So yeah, check that out.
Which apparently did not fit with...
It felt weird, like the end of the last episode on YouTube, hearing that song and watching
I had no context.
Watching the girls from Bloom Into You, like, just straight up on top of each other. It felt weird. All right. Anyway, that's it for the show. You take us out, big boy.
Man. Yeah, I'll take us out, I guess. You got anything to say?
I mean, do you got anything?
No. I'll think of something.
I got one. It's not great, but I'll do it.
You got it, dude.
All right. From all of us here at the Good Buddies the Good Buddies Universe. God, I'm so tired. From all of us here at the Good Buddies Universe, I'm your good buddy, Brandon.
And I'm your good buddy, Roger. That's just a toot, dude.
It is, and it worked. Yeah! You didn't have anything, asshole.